We're back.
What's up, y'all? How you
What's up,
doing?
y'all? I'm Jared.
I'm Josh. How y'all doing?
Man, what's been going on?
Very little with me, man. I moved. That was cool because one of the
No.
hookups of moving is free cable. It's like included
Awesome.
in the bill, so that's kind of awesome. I've just been off.
That's
a little
rare.
bit. Yeah. Seriously, man, it's very cool. And so I was watching a little Ring of Honor, getting caught up on some stuff. Just it's been pretty cool, man. I mean, I don't have a ton of stories. Sorry about that. Just boring moving stuff, but I'm almost done, so that part's great.
Man, the only story I've got to kick off with is it's been a minute ago, but the Tom Petty story.
Yeah, baby.
Uh, rode down, and it was my first time ever getting to see Tom Petty, so I was excited to go. I was at Phillips Arena, downtown Atlanta, and it was one of those kind of deals where tickets have went on sale months ago, and I was like, I don't know. That show's not long after getting back from WrestleMania. I don't know if I'll have money to go in the first place. So I drug my feet about buying tickets, and sure enough, I mean, they sold out really quick anyway. So I'm still kind of like going back and forth, looking at StubHub, looking at eBay, thinking, well, I'll come across a deal. And sure enough, I woke up. It's a Thursday morning, and I did. But it was one of those kind of things where I was nervous because I bought tickets on eBay and apps like SeatGeek and StubHub. StubHub is about priced. People talk about Ticketmaster service fees, man. StubHub, man, don't even bother. Like, you ain't gonna save anything. But anyway, I never had any problems buying tickets on eBay and not getting I'll just email you the seat. You'll verify it, and it's in your Ticketmaster account. All this, that, and other thing. Everything's cool. So, get up Thursday morning. I buy it now on this, and it was a good seat on top of everything else. So I was like, man, all right, I'm gonna get it. Pulled the trigger, bought this seat from the guy. And I get this email, and I'm like, okay, we don't have to meet each other. We don't have to see each other. Just send me the ticket, and I'll print it out, and fine. Well, of course, the old buddy can't get. I can't get the Ticketmaster site to work. Like, fine, whatever. We'll meet up, at the Phillips Arena, CNN Center, and exchange tickets and all that stuff's fine. So, but still, riding down there's one thing to have just bought your ticket that day. It's another thing to have bought your ticket that day and still not have it. And you're riding down there. I was kind of nervous about it. I'm riding down, get to MARTA, Breeze card, they've updated those. So I'm trying to reload a Breeze card that doesn't work anymore. I was like, come on, nothing's going right today. So I'm getting nervous. Like, okay, this is going to be a scam. Old buddy will run off with the money, and it's no problem getting it back. It's just the hassle, because then I'm down there, like, well, now I have to see what I can get at the box office, and don't want to do that.
That's why I went to eBay in the first place.
And it was one of those kind of deals where you ever have one of those people you're texting and just kind of just tell me where to meet you. Tell me I told you what I'm wearing. Tell me what you're wearing so I know what to look for. There's one of those people just would not do that. Who do you think I'm going to sell this information to? So anyway, I'm making the story sound a lot worse than it really was. The dude was really nice. His wife was cool. But and the thought had crossed my mind on the way down there, like, okay, but he couldn't get the Ticketmaster website to work because the tickets were already printed out and mailed to him. And when you do that, that totally bypasses the option of being able to do that. So why did you offer to do it in the first place? Okay. And sure enough,
I don't know how to do my work.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what's going on.
I can't do my work.
Tom Petty. So sure enough, we get to CNN Center, and the guy's pulling the tickets out of his pocket to tear me one off. Like, that's why you couldn't send it to me, because you already printed the things out.
You have it in your hand.
And so it was the whole story of he had a brother that backed out, couldn't use the ticket, all this, that, and other thing. Like, well, get used to it. That's just the way buying tickets before you get cash up front, I mean, they're gonna back out and they're not gonna go. That happens a lot.
Yeah, I've never ever bought a ticket for anybody else beforehand without having money in hand. To where if they backed out of it, it made me ill. I'm with you. That's just part of it. It's okay. It's totally cool. I've got Ring of Honor tickets in my drawer at home right now, and I'm going, and my mama's going, and my buddy Daniel's going, and I know Daniel will go. He's already sent me the text like, "Dude, what do I owe you?" Because Daniel's an unbelievably great dude.
Yeah.
But if something crazy came up, if they
happen.
scheduled a funky LSU national title game out of the middle of nowhere and they played it in August because he's an LSU guy,
Yeah.
I would understand.
Yeah.
It's all good. I'm with you. It's like things like that happen. I can get mad over it because, dude, it happens.
And it was lucky that this show ended up being on Thursday night, because I had no idea this was happening until the next morning. We woke up and Donald Trump's plane's landing in Atlanta to give the keynote address at the frickin' NRA meeting at the World Congress Center. Like, thank God.
Thank God Donald Trump's a Hulkamaniac.
Thank God he's a Hulkamaniac.
That's right.
Thank God the Tom Petty show wasn't that night, or I wouldn't be able to go myself. I'm not getting down there and getting down in that crowd.
You know what?
And people having carry licenses going around downtown Atlanta. Like, forget that.
You know what was going on that night, and it kept me from going to that?
What's up?
Hawks Wizards Game 6. I'm pretty sure it was Game 6 because it was just like,
Heck yeah.
man, that'd be neat. And the Game 4 crowd for the Hawks Wizards playoff series was just, people went crazy about how good they were. I'm like, man, it would be awesome to be a part of that. God, it'd be fun. Okay, Game 6, let's think about it. And it was like, well, the city officials are begging you to take MARTA because POTUS is in town. And I'm like, never mind, because I've done the rolling roadblock thing when Barack Obama was in town. I'm like, well, once is enough for that. Oh my God,
it's awful.
It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm like, well, Hawks, I hope you can do it without me, which stinks because I made him do that. I didn't go to one Hawks game this year. I'm a crappy fan because the Hawks games are fun.
I had a few circled I was going to go to, and work just never,
Man.
Never didn't work out like it got.
I just feel like a heel.
Hawk, as much as people talk about Atlanta not supporting the teams, Hawks tickets are expensive and they sell out all the time.
Hawks fans love them some Hawks, buddy.
Kiss my right buttock on that one.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. I don't know where that really came from because I mean the Braves are Braves. People just love to give people crap. The Falcons games, try to get a ticket to a Falcons game.
Good luck.
That's before they built the new stadium or in the process of building. Yeah, it's just like, I mean, I guess I guess if people want to do it on Saturdays, Atlanta and Athens are very different. I'm a Tech guy. I love Tech to death, but let's be honest. I mean, Athens is one of those rare atmospheres. It's just so. I mean, if you're comparing it, Georgia's got a heck of a lot more fans than Tech does, man. I get that, but I just don't quite understand the Atlanta's a terrible sports town. I don't get it because they lost the Flames and Thrashers. Be fair about that now. The Atlanta did not lose the Thrashers. The Spirit of Atlanta bought the Phillips Arena cluster and had no interest in hockey whatsoever. They had no interest whatsoever. It's one of the reasons they bought it was because Winnipeg was like, hey, we'll take them off your hands, no problem. Like, okay, guys, here come the Jets.
Yep.
But that really had nothing to do with Atlanta. The fans were awesome. They went out. I mean, it was cool, man. It's cool.
I got to Phillips Arena, got my ticket in my hand, and it's always it's the other nervous part of buying a ticket. I just want to. You never know who you're gonna be sitting next to, and of course, everybody's like, "Well, we sit next to each other." I'm like, "Oh, great!" But
did you say that, or did you say, "Don't do me like that"? Couldn't help it, could you?
I got there, eating on my Chick-fil-A, and I exchanged, tickets with the guy. I don't want to keep saying exchange tickets. I got my ticket from the guy. I didn't exchange nothing. He'd already got his ticket. I'm getting mine. And he's a little bit older than me, gray-headed, and it was kind of a dumb question, but I look at the guy like, so, I'm like, is this your first time seeing Tom? And I kind of get that look like, no. But the cool thing was, for both of us, this was our first time seeing Joe Walsh.
That's cool.
Joe Walsh opened for Tom Petty and them Heartbreakers on the show, and before you get the ticket in your hand, you never know. I don't want to offend anybody with your thoughts or feelings about any type of music, especially when it's somebody that played with the Eagles. But He was the only member of the Eagles I would want to see was Joe, and Joe was awesome. He's one of those kind of guys that would talk between songs amongst the crowd and could not understand the words. Like, yeah, like, welcome to the 40th anniversary of the Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers show with special guest me. So, but I didn't know much about the Tom Petty catalog, because before every song started, I was going, "Is this Rocky Mountain Way?"
I understand.
And was the song Good to Me So Far?
Life's Been Good.
Life's Been Good.
Yeah.
So I knew those songs.
Oh, yeah.
And he did have an album out a few years ago that I liked called Analog Man. That was this title. I'm pretty sure that's the title of the album. At least that was the title of the song I really liked off. It's the song, the chorus is Analog Man in a Digital World. So I like that.
Yeah, I can dig that.
But so Joe was cool. Joe, I mean, it was, I think, the ultimate compliment or insult to a show was like, would you go again or not? And I would definitely go see him again. I'll go see Tom Petty again in a heartbeat. There is a video on this channel of that night, and I never know how to do that, whether you're going to WWE shows or football games or concerts. I never know what's appropriate to film and what won't get you a copyright infringement thing on YouTube, because that's the scarlet letter these days. But what I was trying to do was really show just how awesome this Atlanta crowd was, because there's certain groups that you just go expecting not to hear certain songs. You go hoping to hear, like, for whatever reason, the song "The Waiting" by Tom Petty's. That's one of the songs they just don't do anymore. I haven't done in a while. I've got my own thoughts as to why they don't. But one of the I think it was the second. I had meant to have the rundown of the set list in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it was the second song they played. It was Tom comes to the mic like, "This is a song we haven't done in a long time." So I'm like,
oh God, yeah.
This is it. He said it's from 1982, and I was still kind of like, it still could be it. And they go right into "Good Love Is Hard to Find."
Ooh,
that's
my
crowd
jam. Yeah,
blew up.
Yeah.
Number one, and sang every word. That's what I was trying. That's what I was going for, and filming me singing along with it badly.
I can't believe I ain't watched that video. I've seen the link. That's my brother and I had a conversation about Petty not long ago, because our mom was an obsessive Petty fan.
Oh, yeah.
Years and years and years ago. So it's kind of neat, like, because we grew up with him, and then in the '90s when we were in high school, that's when Mary Jane hit, and it became big for all of us. Everybody was into it then.
Yeah.
But my brother and I were discussing what's your favorite Petty song. I was like, "You Got Lucky," and he's like, "Me too." I'm like, "I don't know what it is about that song, but it's like, God dang, that is awesome." They played that.
The not only was the Wildflowers album well represented in that set list. Talk about going to shows not expecting to hear certain songs. He goes right into another moment when he kind of came to the mic and said, we hadn't done this song in a while either, but I just felt like doing it. And it goes into Walls, that song from the Beautiful Girls soundtrack, or She's the One.
Okay.
That whole album was awesome to me, and it gets some love, but it gets forgotten about too, because everybody wants to talk about Wildflowers that came out right at that time. But She's the One, that soundtrack was great, and Walls was like, man, my jam when that summer when that was out.
That's awesome,
but
man.
it was crazy, just the songs they did in a row. It was like and the Tom Petty concert from Atlanta is on YouTube. I don't know how it's legal, but whatever, it's up, you can go watch it. It's right in a row. I think it was like "Good Love Is Hard to Find," "Last Dance with Mary Jane," and "Free Falling," like right there in a row. You're kind of like, give me a break, Tom.
How is the building not falling in on us?
and I've always, myself and my cousin John have always had this belief that virtually every song that Tom Petty does is about getting high. "Learning to Fly," "Ain't Got Wings," "Free Falling," Last Dance with Mary Jane. Other songs I'm forgetting now because I'm rattling off the top of my head. Into the Great Wide Open. It's all in there, but so it's just I don't know what point I was trying to make with that. Point is, there was like Murderer's Row of just awesome song after awesome song with that show, and it's if the 40th anniversary Tom Petty concert is coming anywhere near, go see it.
Awesome.
Because it was a really good show, and I dug it, and that's what I was going for. That crowd was really, really good, and talking about the Wildflowers album, they did "Good to Be King." They did what's that song? You Wrecked Me.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the big jams off that one. I already talked about Last Dance with Mary Jane, and the Wildflowers was the one. They did the title song. So yeah, man, that one was loaded, and definitely go see them again. And myself and Josh had this, always had this joke, but if you watch the Running Down the Dream,
Oh my God.
Tom Petty documentary, it's great. It's awesome.
Unbelievable to begin with, but yes, the joke is the greatest thing ever.
The joke about Ben Mott Tench and Tom Petty stealing everything from him.
Steals everything from Ben Mott Tench. Everything. He takes his entire band. He starts taking his catalogs.
And start stealing clothes from each other.
That was the joke with us,
Yeah.
man. Was you're watching this scene of Ben Mott Tench in the studio doing his thing. He's got this funky little hat on, and it cuts back over to the control panel, and Tom is in there with the producer. And we're like, we fucking on. I'm sorry about that, guys. It'd be awesome if Tom had the hat on while he's just sitting in Ben Mott's just they're kind of sad because things just disappear. Everything you've got, Ben Mott Tench.
Yeah, but man, talking about this Good Love Is Hard to Find, man, that is the Ben Mott Tench on the keyboards song to hear live.
Ben Mott Tench goes to the Olympics.
Yeah, man, and it's nothing elaborate, or it's not like Billy Joel doing Angry Young Man.
Oh yeah.
It's just like,
Which we actually saw. It was great.
yeah, but just the perfect song.
Yeah.
And it's a dude that does not get his due is Ben Mott. But that whole band I love.
Every band has got. We talk about this a lot. It usually starts with keyboard players. Almost every band that you love has at least one secret weapon in there. Now, I always said that Mike Mills was the secret weapon of REM, but in actual fact, the whole band is the secret weapon of REM. I'm a huge REM fan, so that's part of it. But Mike Mills is the guy that can do anything, can sing anything, and he's just awesome. But then you find out that Bill Berry is like, Bill Berry wrote Country Feedback, Bill Berry wrote Perfect Circle, Bill Berry wrote Man on the Moon. I mean, it's like, are you serious, man? Pretty sweet stuff. But yeah, Ben Mott Tench is definitely that guy. And the Breakers are awesome. All of them, like you said, all of them are great. But man, it's just watching that documentary, I learned more about that guy. I knew his name because when you see it in print, it's like, oh, that's cool. No, anything else about him? And we watched that doc, and it's like that guy is an all-star. I mean, it's like Tom's right hand, man.
It's essentially from what I remember the story, it goes, Tom Petty shows up in Los Angeles, essentially gets his record deal and loses it. Ben Mott is his band, his record deal is where the Heartbreakers came from, and that was his band.
It was his band,
and Tom's like, well, I need your band. And that's where the whole stealing stuff from Ben Mott. And stealing his hat and stealing Howie from Dale Shannon. That story's like, well, Tom's a thief. But the other cool thing, and I tried to point this out in the video. It's something, maybe this has been done with other stage setups, but I just thought it was like super cool. And I was trying to film that, but you can't film what I was trying to film without getting the stage, and it kind of, I think that's how people try to get around the whole WWE rules and concert rules. Like, well, I'll just film my reaction, and they can't do anything. I don't think it really works that way, but whatever. I tried it. The stage setup, essentially, like above the band, there was like these. Imagine 4 panels of these like essentially ball orb things that would all lower in one motion, and then they would separate, kind of be floating around and doing their own different little thing and changing colors and just doing all this cool stuff that you're like, man, this is like one of the, it's simple, but I can't believe anybody was able to put this idea together to do this, because it looked so cool. They would like be doing waves and doing like the whole audio frequency stuff, sound going up and down, and so it's a very simple thing. It kind of makes you sound, you know, a little special to have been that entertained by it. I was like watching that all night, like, that's so freaking cool.
I am totally with you. When stage sets border on performance art, I love that. I am a Roger Waters fanatic. And it stinks because Roger's coming to town, and I know I should go. But I'm not going to, because I want to go to Ring of Honor, and that's where my money needs to go. So what I'm going to do instead is watch my wall DVD, not the movie. The movie's fine, but the one that just came out from the last tour that Roger did, it's crazy how good it is. So I'll just watch that again. But I'm a Roger Waters freak, and I love stage shows.
When it comes to a band like that, I like it. I don't love it.
I understand.
So that's why I can miss that show.
I understand. Roger live is different, because this was funny. My buddy Tasha and I talked about this, because Tasha is a David Gilmour girl, and I was David Gilmour for a long time, which is kind of messed up, because my mom has always been, Roger's the talented one. I'm like, really? And then I've got listening to him like, you know what, you're right. Because here's the thing about, in my opinion, Pink Floyd. You enjoy any of it, it's all good, it's fantastic. But the midpoint between when you listen to Dark Side of the Moon, and you got Money, and everyone knows money's fine, and then you go to Us and Them, and it's like, oh, wait a second. We start listening to the lyrics of Us and Them, it's about war. And so David's singing it, David and Richard, I think, that sang that one. So it's got the pretty Pink Floyd vocals, but Forward He Cried from the Rear and the Front Rank Died. I mean, that's like, oh my God. Yeah. So you go from there to Any Color You Like, and then from there, you go to Rain, Damage, and Eclipse. And if you needed to know the point that Roger Waters officially took the band over, that was it. Because it was all of a sudden, after you listen to Everything Under the Sun Is in Tune, which is all nice and hippie and Syd Barrett, Everything Under the Sun is in tune, but the sun is eclipsed by the moon. And that's it until Wish You Were Here comes out. And then when Wish You Were Here comes out, then the next thing you hear is, you've got to be crazy. You've got to have a real need. Got to sleep on your toes when you're on the street. Learn to be able to pick out the easy beat with your eyes closed. You go from Everything Under the Sun Is in Tune, Sun's eclipsed by the moon. Then you write your Syd Barrett Valentine. Then all of a sudden you were writing about predatory practices of human nature. Animals is the first post-punk Pink Floyd album, and lyrically, brother, it shows. And that's the stuff that I love. Roger's my guy. Anyway, I've gotten way afield on that mess, because the point was going to be, Pink Floyd started so much of that stuff, and it's very elaborate and crazy and over the top, and I love it.
Started the big set stuff.
They did, and it's exactly what you were saying about with Petty. When you can take those kind of things and then scale them back, I love that. I love it, because I've seen the coolest live show I've ever seen. I saw 9 Inch Nails in Gwinnett, and that was shockingly cool. Very, very cool. But again, it's elaborate and huge and almost interactive. But with that kind of stuff, we saw Billy, and Billy's set was super simple, but it was cool. Yeah. It was very, very cool. Springsteen was unbelievably stripped. It was amazing. Oh, heck yeah. Absolutely amazing. So I'm totally with you on that. Like, I think that's real
simpler
cool.
the better. But this was like really neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I've seen the Rolling Stones, and you talk about a group that spares no expense when it comes to stage show. Yeah. But everything kind of makes sense, and it goes. This is like something that incredibly elaborate, but still very simple. Yeah. And I could just, see
functionally elaborate
in some office somewhere in the Omni Hotel. Ted Turner gets word that Tom Petty wants to drop his balls in the Phillips Arena. He's like, no.
I'm not doing that. I'm in the wrestling business.
You want to do what?
What now?
You want to do what?
Not had a stakeout. No, I ain't doing that.
Ain't doing it.
Go Braves.
Damn heavy.
I ain't having it. Ain't no long hair.
The Tom Petty show was awesome, and honestly, off the top of my head, I don't remember the last song of the night of this original set, but the encore, they come out and do Wreck Me and American Girl. Yeah. So that's some good ones to go out on.
Very, very good to send you to Bardo on American Girl, man.
Yeah. Virtually, a well-rounded show, and enjoyed all of it, and I just thought the crowd was really awesome. So if you want to go check out that video, go right ahead.
Yeah, I think that's cool.
Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, watch it, but don't tell anyone you've seen it. I had a very similar experience as far as awesome Atlanta crowds. I'll make this quick, but it just has to be mentioned because I got to give a shout out to two unbelievably awesome people who hooked me up. But it was Thursday when Petty was, right?
Yeah.
48 hours later, 2 days, 48 hours after this, I was down the street from Phillips at Bobby Dodd, a place that I have lived. And my buddies Darian and Matt have tickets to United. And I'm a soccer fanatic. That's why I'm going to try to keep this short because I don't want to do what I just did with Roger Waters. I've had my tirade for the evening. Darian's a monster soccer fan. And one of the first conversations that she and I ever had when we met, I don't think it was the first conversation we had, but I think it was the second one. We were at Mellow Mushroom. And we just got talking. Both Braves fans, both huge soccer fans. So I was discussing that basically what I had heard, because at the time this was before they'd broken ground, but that Arthur Blank, for building the new stadium, he wanted an MLS team built into the package. That was part of the deal, was you talk to Don Garber, you talk to the league. If we do this, we get this. And then Kasim Reed's the mayor of Atlanta. He was on board with it, and then that's what happened. So we were talking about that. This has been this very cool thing. I've been following MLS since '96 when they started. And I love the Columbus Crew because they were there from the beginning, but of course I've traded allegiance because it's Atlanta. But fortunately, I got real lucky because they got tickets. And because of her boyfriend, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for watching the video. It's unbelievably cool of you. I didn't say this face-to-face because I'm an idiot, but I will tell you now through the magic of YouTube. Thank you. That was part of the deal with getting tickets. He's like, well, one of the things is you have to take one of the games and you guys have to go together because we've just liked it together for so long. It's an unbelievably kind thing for somebody to do because he's digging it now, too. He's really into it. So for him to give up the ticket was very cool. So my buddy Darian and I go down to Bobby Dodd and we watch Atlanta United, and just similar to like you're talking about. I mean, people, you keep hearing the buzz about United and how many people are going out and how loud it is and how crazy it is and how the whole reason they called them United was the logic behind it. And this is one of those things about Atlanta being a crap sports town is that, well, it's a transient town and people are from other places, la-di-da. And up to a point, that's true. You're not going to get Yankee fans to pull for the Braves. The Yankees still exist. You're not going to get Knicks fans to pull for the Hawks. They'll buy the tickets, but they're not pulling for the Hawks. But we've never had a soccer team. No offense to the Silverbacks, but it's just different. Most people don't go to Silverbacks games. They just don't. But for people that have lived here for 5-6 years now, and they want their team. Seriously. They want their team. They want something they can get behind. That's the whole reason they called them United. I wanted them to be Fulton County Football Club because I just think that sounds amazing. But the idea is cool. I understand. I like it. So it's very cool. So the idea that they were going for, it's not that they got it. It's not that it worked. It's that it's off the chart. It's more successful than anyone could possibly believe. Even the guys in the front office are shocked, man. It is amazing.
Nobody expected it.
It's unreal. Not like it is, because the thing is, it's not just the numbers, but it's the atmosphere. It's just Atlanta's already got this crazy reputation for being this, I don't want to say hostile, but just very loud, very passionate, very supportive fan base. And it's very cool. I'm very lucky that I went with Darian because I don't participate in stuff like that, and fortunately she doesn't either. So it's kind of cool because we're surrounded by people doing the ATL thing and all having a good time, and we're both doing this because the game's going on, because that's what we do, and that's great. I love atmosphere stuff. I love that people want to do that. That way I don't have to.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's just, I'm not, even at Tech games, I sing Ramblin' Wreck once, and that's after the game is over, and if we've won and the boys come down and sing with us. That's it. I don't need to sing it 50 times a day, man. But it was super cool, and I guess the reason I wanted to mention it because Darian and Matt, you guys are awesome, and again, I cannot thank you enough. I can't do it. Thank you.
Here's to you.
Here's to you, by golly. Here's some deadgum Highland from North Carolina. Yeah, baby. North Kakalaki beer.
It's good.
It is quite good. Highland's it's an awesome brewery anyway.
I didn't make it sound that way. Like, it's good.
No, it's cool. We were discussing this when we picked these up. That's a cool brewery anyway, out of Asheville, North Carolina. There's a couple of breweries up there, baby. But this one I hadn't tried before, and I love it. It's the Thunderstruck Coffee Porter, and it says coffee and porter on it. It's got an AC/DC. It's got an AC/DC song title on it. It's from North Carolina. Let's go. But just to piggyback on the Petty fans being so good, that's awesome that we just got this like crazy, double bill of Atlanta crowds, and 2 days apart. Very cool. Here's to you, Atlanta.
So it's virtually no need to even mention the pay-per-view last Sunday. Payback.
I did despise it. I really did.
I tried to spin it to make it sound like it wasn't that bad, but when you go back and watch it, like it just wasn't very good. So it's more of like like what we've been talking about. Like, man, this style of trying to build guys like isn't working. You know, the 50-50 booking, the win one, lose one, win one, lose one, just don't work.
It does not.
Especially when you beat. I don't even like Roman Reigns. When you beat a guy that just beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania, what are you thinking? First of all, that him being in a match like that against an opponent like Braun, that shouldn't have been done that soon anyway.
That's what I think too.
That's the biggest problem.
I completely agree. I think that, and I say this all the time, same complaint about everything. It's either too fast or it's too slow. And as I said this earlier, I'll say it again. People are constantly trashing the Young Bucks, anybody in Ring of Honor, any of the young guys coming up, man. Neville got hit with this, anybody. You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down and make it make sense.
And you shine.
They're not wrong.
Slow down.
Absolutely, they're not wrong telling the young guys to slow down. Someone needs to tell these dang bookers the same thing, man, because the whole idea of having, first of all, talk about 50-50. We talked about it earlier, man. You just had Roman Reigns beat Braun Strowman not 3 pay-per-views ago, and that was the first mistake right there. Why do you put those two guys in the same? What are you thinking? Mm-hmm. So Roman gets the win. And then you go and kill him and beat him up and, take it, basically Braun Strowman eats him and then pulls out his phone and gets on his Places I Pooped app and pins Roman's head and somewhere in South Dakota or whatever. But it was just dumb because the idea, like we said, the idea of Strowman going out and mutilating Roman Reigns like that is great, just not right now. It's the same thing I complained about with Orton and Bray. I'm sorry to complain about the same stuff all the time, but that is my biggest frustration, is they zoom these storylines along so fast. When, if you've done Randy and Bray the way I wanted them to, I think that Bray's over, and I think that Randy's 13th. I think he's up to 13 now, right?
Getting close.
Well, if you delay 12 or 13, one of those two, whichever his reign is right now, if you have him come back, rise from the dead, and do that thing, you beat a very over Bray Wyatt who's going to stay over, and then his next reign means something. Randy Orton feels like a transitional champion right now, and I'm not a Randy Orton fan, but for the love of Pete, he's got enough clout to be treated better than that.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve that.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Roman and Braun. The whole thing is this. Everybody knows that big red belt is going to Roman Reigns. Everybody knows it, and it's better to have it on Roman Reigns than somebody that's not even around. Mm-hmm. So the idea of build and build and build, and because this is what messed me up with Goldberg beating Lesnar the first time, because I thought the idea was Brock destroys Goldberg, and you keep on going, he wins the Universal title, and then Roman takes it off of him. And then that's the idea. This whole time you are building this perfect beast named Braun Strowman who's going to come and kill him for the title. Or, in my opinion, it wasn't even for the title. It was like a non-sanctioned street fight thing where it's all like, man, WWE is not sanctioning this, so the belt's not on the line, la-di-da. And even better, you can strip Roman of the belt. That'd be awesome. Make those people happy. And that'd be cool. Have that be Roman's thing. Like, it's not even about that anymore. Because my thing was to have Braun hunt the Usos, have Braun, just attack the family. Now, I will say in WWE's defense, I really hope to not sound crass or crude. I'm really being sincere here. Thank God they didn't with Rosie passing away, because that would have just been horrible. So it worked out way better that they didn't do it that way, because I'm not saying they would have worked it into the storyline. I'm saying the internet would have gone crazy with it and made jokes about something that people shouldn't be laughing about.
It's not funny.
Exactly. So it worked out way better. But I just still like the idea of him pursuing. And I didn't even thought about that before, man. Strip him of the title. Like, we're keeping, you are the star. You're the flagship of the show. We are not letting you fight that psycho. Listen, man. This guy's going after my family. This guy's coming after me. I don't care. Here, take the belt. It's fine. And then you can put it up there for whoever you want to have it. It's all good. That would have been cool.
I don't want it anymore.
Exactly. It's okay. I want to beat this guy worse than I want to be champion.
Yeah.
And then you go out there and have Braun do exactly what he did and beat the crap out of him. And then you build the Rocky comeback for Roman. I love the comeback. The idea of Bray vanquishing Randy Orton and then Randy rising up from the old ashes. We talked about this, man. This was my thing about the House of Horrors match. I thought it would have been much cooler. Just my opinion. I love movies and all that stuff at WrestleMania with the stuff on the ring, the images. Yeah. I loved that. Now, how cool would it have been if every one of those rooms that Randy Orton went into was decorated like one of those scenes? You have one room that's nothing but bugs, one room's nothing but snakes. That'd have been amazing. Yeah. And that's the whole thing. Is then it goes away and it's all gone and all that stuff is good. And Randy, I'm the champion of World Wrestling Entertainment, Randy. No, just don't even talk about Randy. Let him go away. But then when you bring him back, the way you bring him back, instead of doing that thing where he just pops up behind Bray for no reason in the House of Horrors match, have Bray out there doing his thing and it's all good. And then the ring goes to an image again and it's a freaking viper. and he freaks out. The lights come up in Randy's back. You do that right before SummerSlam, I think all of this is way cooler.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
It's way cooler if you do it that way. And I've gotten way talking about the same old thing over and over again, but it is the same thing where I hate when they fast track booking. Is I think that Braun Strowman versus Brock, I keep saying Brock, I'm sorry, y'all. Roman Reigns is good stuff. And I think him beating him is good stuff, but just like the man said, not right now.
Yeah.
Not right now. That doesn't mean nothing now, because if you build that long and then Braun beats him, by God, he is unbeatable. By golly, that guy, holy smokes, man, good thing you gave up the title. And then you can have Braun Strowman go on a title run and be like, well, I can't do his voice, man. I pooped out Roman Reigns. He wouldn't give me a title shot. I'm number one contender. Now, that's your story, and that would have been great. Have him go out and beat the crap out of somebody. That'd be all right. I personally see this is where I'm coming from with this whole thing. If you really want to do Brock and you really want to do Goldberg and all that stuff, and here's where you messed up by having Goldberg be the guy beat Brock Lesnar in 10 seconds, you can't do nothing with it. But what if Brock had beaten Goldberg, and then Brock lost to Roman because everyone knows he's going to, then he's the one that comes back, wins the tournament for the belt, and Braun Strowman beats Brock Lesnar in 10 seconds. Then you got something, because Goldberg's going home. Braun Strowman, you've really got an exclamation point on him then. And then Roman comes back and beats him for the belt. Now, people are going to hate on it, but hey, that's classic, baby. That's what you're going to do. But I think that's a way cooler storyline than what we got.
So, man, that's the biggest problem. It just feels like these guys have no idea what they're doing.
I hate not quite as bad as I felt it at one time, but it still feels very much like there's such a gotcha thing where it's like, well, we got to come up with something they don't see coming. Well, sometimes we don't see it coming because it sucks.
Yeah.
And the big problem with, if you were going to, the internet's big. Somebody is going to figure out what you are doing. Don't try and sidestep the internet. Just go with what's going to be good.
It's the law of averages. Somebody's going to figure it out.
As many people do this, even though it's not monetized, as many of us do this, and we sit here and spit these ideas, someone's going to be right before you do it.
Yeah.
Man, let it go on. Let it go, man.
People can give their opinions, and that's going to be that way forever.
Forever. They're going to do it anyway. We're happy that we're not getting paid for this. We're going to be here forever. Forever. Island Brewery, Thunderstruck forever.
So, man, before we get off the WWE stuff and start talking about the revival of an old wrestling company that's not reviving,
Revival.
one of the things that I don't feel that comfortable talking about, but just because I feel like even as small as this channel is, us giving it its due isn't really helping anybody and probably doing more harm than good. But there are more female superstars that showed up naked on the internet this week. If you haven't heard, you can Google it and you can find it yourself. But this time, the female superstar that showed up on the internet was actually naked, and I felt like, because there's a difference if you between naked and naked. Going back to the old Louis Grizzard shows, naked is when you don't have any clothes on. Naked is when you're a pace and you don't have any clothes on and you're up to something. This happened to a girl that I really feel like was just taking some pictures for a boyfriend and got done wrong and trusted the wrong people. I know this is a shock to all you guys out there. Look at me. I'll never know what it's like to be a pretty woman, a pretty smoking hot woman. Why is it not enough to be that? And we're in this day and age now of, it's not enough just to be pretty. I gotta show myself naked to my boyfriend for whatever reason. It's not that they're young girls. It's not that they're older girls. It's just, that's just the way it is. And I'll never understand it. I don't get that. But I think that's what happened with this situation. And with this coming out, some of the research, that people do on these websites, it's not going to get any better. It's going to be every week. This stuff gets stolen and revealed, and it's just kind of, it stinks. But this, you don't have to get even close to my level of trust issues to know this is a bad idea. Just, if you never take these photos, they'll never be there to release. So I don't know. I don't understand what it is with these girls that are like smoking hot in the first place, why is that not enough? Why do you have to go that extra step and take a photo like that and send it out and risk that, whether it's not a ex doing it, but just somebody somewhere is going to get in the cloud and have this stuff come back, to, this isn't going to jeopardize anybody's career. It's just really embarrassing. And so just keep that in mind when you're naked on the internet. Just don't be naked.
Yeah, stuff like that is incredibly frustrating for me because I'm somebody that is very firmly of the idea that I absolutely hate that we're a species that where you can't just do what you want to. It's all good,
Yeah.
but you can't, and it sucks. It totally sucks. If you are in a relationship and you're like, hey, I'll do something cute. I'll send my boyfriend a picture of me all sexified.
Yeah.
You should be able to do that. I wish you could. I
Yeah.
really wish you could because it absolutely sucks that you can't. But one of the problems with the convenience of, like you said, the cyber world is that the crime's real convenient too. And it sucks. I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it. And one of the reasons I can't stand it is us talking about smoking hot ladies, which I'll never know what that is either.
No.
But what I do know is this: there's enough stuff going on in here that's it's interesting to me. So I assume that everyone's like that. I
Yeah.
don't know if I've ever met a woman so beautiful that she knew it. You know what I'm saying? There are some people that act like it and they give you crap attitude, or at least the stereotype of what we think pretty people act like.
Yeah.
But then again, in my life, some of the most physically beautiful people I've ever seen in my life are also among the kindest and just the total opposite of the stereotype. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. It probably just
Yeah.
works one person to the next to the next to the next. Some people, man, it's nice to be told you're sexy. It's nice to be told you're attractive, and maybe you can't be sexy or attractive enough to not be affected by someone appreciating that.
Yeah.
So if you just try and do a nice thing, and it's all like, yeah, man, I'll turn my boyfriend, I'll be a nice thrill, and all right, that'll be cool. And I wish it could be. And I hate stories like this, especially like you said, when it starts affecting folks' careers.
Yeah.
Because that's what drove me crazy about Paige and Woods. And there's man, I need you to leave Xavier Woods out your mouth. Well, let's stop. And it's really both of them. I shouldn't say that, well, Paige should be in trouble, but Woods shouldn't. That's not what I mean at all. I don't think
nobody's saying
I don't
that.
think anybody. Well, unfortunately, that's what it sounded like I just said. I'm afraid that's what it sounded like I just
I
said.
didn't hear it that way.
Awesome. Thank you, man. But yeah, it's like, leave these people alone. Y'all, come on, man.
It felt like he was more the victim in that. So I think, honest to God, deep down somewhere in my gut, and you always have to go gut feelings, I don't think that was leaked by anybody but her. And I think she at least knew it was coming and just chose not to stop.
That's
I think, was a legitimate stuff got stolen.
Stuff got stolen.
And that's the fine line between rights and consequences, to where nobody is saying you don't have the right to do anything that you want to do as far as between you and a significant other in a relationship or significant others, but understand that you're rolling that dice, and just the more you try to trust people and let them in like that, the more your odds are going to go up that you're going to get embarrassed with your Pikachu out on the internet for anybody to see. And just understand that can happen, and then make your choices how you choose to do it.
Yeah. See, I'm with you on that. I think that stuff like that can happen. Sucks beyond description. But that stuff like that can happen is supremely realistic. That's the way it is, and it sucks. It sucks. But I'm with you. It's like, man, I just hate it. I hate that stuff for people.
I mean, it's nobody's immune to it. It's every other week. There's the new hot thing in Hollywood: the Scarlett Johanssons, the Kat Dennings, the Kaylee Cuocos. I'll never know what it's like to look like that. But
I think about it.
Dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it just.
Which one of them is the prettiest? Don't even try answering because I couldn't do it between now and the end of the show. We'll just talk about it off camera. Which one of them are you most into?
I would have to throw down my trump card and just say Anna Kendrick over all of them.
I understand. That's a good answer. That's very deftly done. Well handled.
That's my infinite Jared card that I used to say no.
Yeah, for real. I like it. That's good. That's quick too, man. I was serious. Like, dude, take your time.
Yeah, man, you couldn't go wrong with any of those. Either you throw Anna Kendrick, you throw Anne Hathaway in there. I mean, that kind of you can't really argue that. At least to me. So I just I just think it's a good idea. Just not to take those pictures, and then they're never out there in the first place. And take the pictures. And there's a really good bit that Tom Green had in a stand-up bit he did a few years ago that's worth going and tracking down. Not finding on YouTube, but buying a copy of it on the Amazon, because it's really cheap. Where part of what the joke is, what he's talking about, is like, to take a nude photo back in the 80s took a lot of time.
It did, yes.
You had to set up lights, and you had to go get film, and you had to get this scene that you've taken developed, and there was a lot that could go through your mind in the process of photo to development to giving the photo to somebody.
One of those thoughts is this a good idea?
Yeah.
I think about stuff like that.
It's too easy to just send it to somebody now, and it's over and done with in seconds.
I think about that a lot. I was having a conversation, not to veer, but it's similar. I was having a conversation about the last election, and it wasn't about the results, but it was about the people that voted. And I think that, people that are younger than I am take so much crap for the last election. I think people younger than me are interesting, man. I just think that it's such... I would imagine that, generations are obviously different, and that's kind of cool. But, man, with the stuff that you're talking about, the quantum leap in, like, instantaneous technology from people my age, I'm 37, and people just, like, 30-year-olds, much less 28, 25, 26.
Can't relate.
It's amazing. And that's my thing is, I'm like I say, I'm with you. I'm like, there is no reason on earth for there to be naked photos of me anywhere, so there ain't none. But that's easy for me to say. And it's easy for me to say, one, because it's just not my thing, but also it's like, I just wonder how big of a generational thing it is. And I'm going to be wrong. I ain't saying there ain't no 20-year-olds out there that aren't like, well, hey, we've all got naked pictures. I mean, sure, there's somebody out there that's 18 that is probably pure dynamite. And she's like, you know what? I'm not interested in having naked pictures of me out there. I'm not saying that nobody's thinking that way. I wonder if it's different. I wonder if it's different.
No.
Because I'm with you. I think the majority of people our age are kind of like, why in the world would you do that? I don't wonder. It might not be that at all.
Yeah.
But I just wonder if it's a generational thing where it's all like, it's just so easy. It's what you said.
There's people our age and beyond our age getting wrapped up into that culture too, thinking, oh, this is a good idea.
Wow, that was
no,
fun.
it's not. No.
Tom Green didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
I like Tom Green, though.
And that the same thing has happened too, where there's some older female superstars where are getting burned by this. We're like, no, it can happen to you too, and just don't do it in the first place, and it's not out there. And so anyway, that's just my very vague rant about somebody that I really like.
Yeah, me too. Feel like I know him, so it's like,
And I feel bad for him, and I just think just somebody got done wrong this week. So think about that.
that's our done wrong person for the week.
Yeah. Talk about doing stuff wrong. I don't know if you heard the news. Billy Corgan has bought the rights to the NWA, not Ice-T, not Ice Cube, the National Wrestling Alliance. And when you heard the story about Billy Corgan buying the NWA, like, whoa, I don't think you can do that, brother.
For real? Seriously?
Whoa, I don't know about that, brother. But it makes you feel like, what did this dude actually buy? Nothing. I mean, this...
I'm sorry, I just thought of a song lyric. Let's keep going. I can't wait for the Billy Corgan presser where he comes out and says, despite all my rage, I just bought the NWA. Good job,
Yeah.
Bill. Good job, Bill.
Shakedown, 1979.
It was the champ in 79. That's probably
Had to be Harley.
That's Harley
Had to
time,
be.
wasn't it?
I think it had to be Harley.
time. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you buy the NWA, it means Harley Race shows up to your events. You've done something. But I'm with you. It's like,
He ain't showing up these days.
I don't know what it means. Yeah, I wish.
What did you buy? There's not even a tape library to buy.
Yeah, that's gone.
Man, Vince has got that right on lock. I think he got a title and just the...
A bunch of Dan Severn action figures.
a bunch of, like, fly-by-night promoters that have to answer to him now. So what did you really get? I mean, type of people you don't want to do business with in the first place.
Yeah.
And he didn't learn his lesson the first time doing business with Dixie Carter. And even when Billy Corgan was at Impact, TNA, whatever. God, I hated both of those names.
God, no kidding.
wanted to get in business with these terrible, stupid people, and what didn't listen to cooler heads and does it anyway, and that happened. And people were screaming then like, start completely new with something. Don't buy something that awful to try to rebrand it and redo it. And I think it's the same thing you could say with what he's getting in league with now. It's like, man, just don't bother. I mean, if you want a wrestling company that bad and you got enough money to do it, there's other ways to go about it, man. Don't buy that because you didn't buy anything.
I don't know where Billy's stationed at these days. I don't know if he's at home.
I'm pretty sure he's still in Chicago.
See, that's what I was hoping you were going to say, because I understand if you're out west, it's different. PWG's kind of got the West on lockdown.
They locked that down.
Ring of Honor's on the East Coast. It's cool, man. You're right there in Chicago, Minneapolis. I mean, there's St. Paul. Sorry, I mean to be disrespectful to the Twin Cities. There is still like some blood that flows through there, man. I think you could do really cool if you did like a Ring of Honor style promotion in that part of the country. I mean, I couldn't do it because I'm a baby in cold weather, but he's from there. By golly, he's of sterner stuff than I am. I think that would be just cool, man. That would be a real cool thing, and then eventually you can cross them all up, and that'd be amazing. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want them doing like Supercard and stuff like that, but crossovers every now and again are fun.
Yeah, go back to the AWA days.
Oh yeah, I don't want it to be Jerry Jarrett.
Nobody's saying do that.
Oh yeah, ain't nobody saying Jerry and Vern. But I was hoping that's what he was going to do too. I just think that's cool. And the problem with buying something like the NWA is obviously you bought the National Wrestling Alliance. That's not what you're going to do. You ain't looking to do nothing regional because it's the NWA. I really wish they could do something because again, we discussed this earlier exactly the way I said to Jared, man. I am a small town country kid. The NWA title still gets me excited. I just like to look at it. I think it's neat. I make it on Fire Pro Wrestling all the time. And then I give it to people like, I think my current NWA champion is Kojima. Because Kojima's, currently I'm like in a time warp where I'm in like, I think it was 04, 05. I think I might have the year on that wrong. But Kojima's just beating up everybody. It's awesome. I just clothesline the crap out of everyone until they're dead. It's fun. So he's my NWA champ. But man, even I know it don't mean nothing. The way I just described it to Jared earlier is this, man. I'm a small town country kid. I love the NWA title. It means something to me. There are not enough people that fit that description to make you a dime. So what did you buy? I'm totally with you. I hate it, but it's like I can't make you rich, Billy. I've already bought all your albums. I've done my part.
It's already a narrow market.
For real.
And we're all worried about, Thunderstruck and, getting to SmackDown and Ring of Honor shows. Man, I can't help you. I can't help you, Billy.
I do feel bad. I just, because I would love to get excited about that, but I'm with you. It's like, TNA tried that too. Remember, they brought that title back, and I loved it. Jeff Jarrett had it, and Ron Killings had it. I'm pretty sure it's pretty cool. It's neat. AJ Styles had that belt for a hot minute, and that was cool seeing AJ with the old Harley Race Championship. I like that, but it didn't do anything.
It didn't. I mean, talk about something that's just over and gone. I mean, from the throwing it down days. To the Wild Side days, man, it just didn't. It didn't come back then. It's not going to come back now.
That's kind of what I fear too.
So that's the long and short of it. So start something new. The Smashing Pumpkin belt.
SDW, the Siamese Dream Wrestling. It'd be awesome.
He can make a House of Horrors match look cool, and not just some baby dolls hanging in the foyer of a old split level ranch, Randy.
It's just cheap Texas Chainsaw Massacre knockoffs. I'm like, man, a room full of bugs is way cooler.
Yeah.
If you've got a room where the walls are living creatures, that is a House of Horrors. Mm-hmm. I just thought it would be cooler to like preview it that way, and then I don't know. I like that idea because I thought that the stuff was cool. The WrestleMania stuff. I love that because I like that. Well, I don't really like the supernatural hocus pocus stuff. I understand, but I love the Undertaker, so I'm cool with all that kind of stuff. I just wish you'd give it more meaning. Don't have Randy Orton pop up out of nowhere. Have a freaking Viper come up on the ring apron or just on the screen, just screened out on the ring, the ring covering, and the apron, and then him being there. And that would have been hot. That'd have been cool, but just not right yet.
Fridge is gonna fall on you, Randy. House lights are gonna turn red on the outside, Randy.
That's right.
Not gonna get either one of us over, Randy.
Have you ever seen Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, Randy?
Oh man!
I'm gonna put this refrigerator on you and then drop a nuke on my house. It's gonna be fine, Randy.
Suck that, suck now.
Suck that, suck now. Seven Sin King with the Crystal Skull. It's like that. It's like that. Bray Wyatt movie review. That's awesome, man.
That's what's up, y'all.
Have a good one, y'all.
We'll talk at y'all later.
Yep.
Bye.